Hello people of YouTube, and welcome to the first video of my YouTube channel. I got a pretty cool project I'm working on this winter, so let me flip the camera around here. So here's my 1977 Ford 8700. It's one of the nicest ones I've really been around, but around here it seems like the old Fords didn't hold up well, or they weren't popular or whatever. But until I bought this one, I had never seen one that I'd never seen one that was in this good a shape anyway, I should say. It's not too bad. It's all original, all stock. I've done a couple modifications to the tractor, really nothing spectacular. Probably the only thing I've really done to it is I cut the safety wire, the original safety wire, there's still a piece of it hanging there, off of the fuel screw, because this thing did not throw any smoke at all when I first got it. And I like when they throw a little bit of smoke personally, because if it's not smoking, you're not doing work. Other than just general maintenance on the tractor, changed all the fluids, switched the hydraulic fluid all over to John Deere oil, because the rest of the fleet is John Deere's, because my dad and my brother, they're both John Deere guys. Me, I worked at the New Holland dealership for a few years, and I never really thought too much of these big old bastards, but this thing, I'm pretty impressed with it. I actually wasn't interested in these until I worked on one at my job, and it came in for a clutch, so we had it split, and I had never seen the insides of one of these things. So when I got it opened up, I was pretty impressed with the size of the gears, the size of the clutch, especially the size of the differential in these tractors. So my plans for this thing is to add a turbocharger to it this winter, and I already ordered all the parts to do it. But the thing that happened that spawned this idea is the head gasket started leaking. Now, I've done head gaskets on older Fords, and mostly 5000s though, but I've seen them where they leak oil once in a while. It seems to leak more out the front here when it's cold than it is when it's hot out. You can see on the back here, it leaks a little bit out the back there too. This tractor's seen a lot of work this year. It's not getting oil in the antifreeze, it's not getting antifreeze in the oil. The only trouble we're having is it's leaking some oil out the front of the head there. My theory is that the gasket's just rotted, because this motor's never been apart. I know that for a fact, because I got it about a season and a half ago, and I took the valve cover off to check the valves, because the valve cover had never been off. So I'm pretty damn sure that the valve cover has never been off. That cylinder head's never been off there either. But at the beginning of last season, it got a whole new cooling system. I got a new water pump, new thermostat, all new hoses. I even did all the heater hoses all the way up into the cab, because they were all ancient and starting to rot, and I really did not want to mess around and have any trouble out in the field with it. Because what do we got here? We started off the season, yeah, that's not a very good view of the picture there, but 4914.7. Let's see what we're up to now. And like I said, this tractor's pretty clean. This cab's not rotten. There's some surface rust on their floor mat. There's my old spare parts. That's basically the extent of what I've done to this tractor. We got a spin-on oil filter kit, got a new water pump, I replaced the starter. The old one works, but it was kind of sluggish. Somebody has put a seat in the tractor, but I don't really mind. It's pretty comfy. Somehow they fashioned it to the original seat suspension, which I think is kind of nice, because why get it all out of the factory way? So we got 5,117 hours on this thing, and when I got it, it had about 4,600 on it. So I've done some work with it. This tractor mainly does tillage. I got a new old stock radio in there and my cracked headliner. Got some Walmart speakers going on. And other than that, everything mechanical on the tractor's good, except for these silly speed control levers on the hydraulics, but doesn't seem to bother anything I'm doing with it. It's got the old Clash and Bash freaking 4-speed with the high-low. There's a picture of that. I don't know if anybody's not familiar with these things or not, but I don't really like the transmission. I like the dual power, but the transmission's quite a bitch to shift with, if I say so myself. I've gotten the hang of it, because we farm all over the county over here, and I do a lot of driving. The one farm's 16 miles from the home farm here. The other farm's about 12 miles, but it's all back roads and bumpy and all kinds of fun. So I've been learning how to shift the thing, and it seems like low RPMs, double clutching, and lots of patience are about the best way to go about it. I don't know if I got you guys a good enough view of what this tractor is, but it's got the original 10-ply Armstrong 20.838s on the back. I gotta replace them. Unfortunately, that's on the list this winter too. They're all getting pretty cracked, but they're still holding air, and I'm definitely losing fuel because the tread's not so great. And I do a lot of chisel plowing and disking with the tractor, and you can tell there's some wheel slippage. Some of these tires are pretty bad, but all in all, this thing's been great. I was actually trying to sell it. Had a deal with a guy to sell it with the head gasket leaking. Had a handshake and everything. He was gonna come pick the tractor up, give me the money. Well, he told me through a text message that I guess our handshake deal wasn't good enough for him, but it's basically what inspired me to keep the thing and fix it. Because like I said, the thing's been excellent, and I'm very impressed with what it does, especially compared to the John Deere 4020. Because that's our other big tractor's a John Deere 4020. But I've got my turbo kit on the way. I put everything together myself, and yeah, there's people out there say, oh, you shouldn't turbocharge a tractor like that. It doesn't have the oil-cooled pistons and yada yada yada. I don't really care. My main goal with this is to just have a turbo on there, not to blow black smoke or break any horsepower records. I just want the thing to be a little bit more efficient. So I've got an exhaust manifold on the way. I've got a turbocharger on the way. I am actually adding an auxiliary coolant filter kit to this thing because I don't really want to have any trouble with pinhole liners like everybody talks about with these things, which I don't think I have to worry about because I think it's been well maintained for what it is. And I see the lines are numbered here, so I'd imagine it's had a clutch in it recently. Not super recently, but I mean, it's only got 5,000 hours. How long ago could it have really been? But my main goal is to get the turbocharger on it, get the freaking exhaust out from under the hood, because it really drives me nuts that Ford ran the exhaust right up along the fuel tank. Like really, like we really need all that heat under there. So I'm gonna have a stack coming right off, going straight up off the turbo, and I'm not doing it the way Ford did. Ford's bright idea on the turbocharged version, the 9700 and the TWs, the exhaust side of the turbo was on the front. So the intake piping had to go all the way, snake around, and go on the back of the turbo. Why they would do that, I do not know. But I am turning the turbo that I'm getting so that the exhaust side is going to be on the back, the intake side and the boost side is going to be on the front. Therefore, all my heat's going to come out my exhaust pipe and up off the tractor and out from underneath my hood. I'm also going to be sending out the radiator to get boiled and leak tested. I had a couple leaks in it over the summer, and I ended up putting sealant in it that worked, but I don't trust that long term. So rather than mess around with it and be broke down out in the field, I'm gonna get that taken care of. Now, this is my first video, so guys, it might not be the greatest quality, the greatest whatever, but I'm trying, and I really want to share this project with the world because all the naysayers out there really bother me. My father had a 4020 with an M&W turbocharger kit on it. Pretty much he got it before I was born, but he ran that thing my whole freaking life. Unfortunately, he ran into tough times, had to sell out, but that tractor ran great, and there was nothing special about it. It wasn't souped up, just a good, well-maintained tractor. Never let us down, never really had any trouble other than one time a radiator hose rotted out and had to do rock shaft seals, but I think every John Deere out there needs rock shaft seals or load sensing shaft seals, whatever you want to call them. And yes, I do have a leak, but most of that comes from these high quality Ford remote valves or couplers, whatever you want to call them. I don't really mind, it keeps back the tractor from rusting, but I do have a small hydraulic leak up underneath by the whatever they call that valve. I don't know off the top of my head, but Next video you'll see this thing will be tore down. I want to show you guys how the cylinder head looks and whether or not I'm going to have to send it to the machine shop, which I'm really hoping I don't. I'm going to have the radiator out and hopefully back from getting boiled, and probably share with you guys where I got that done depending on how the job looks. But dealt with these guys a couple times and they're pretty professional, so I'm hoping they do a good job and share it with you guys. I don't know if anybody's local to the area up here in northern New Jersey, and while I'm speaking of that, if anybody's after a used Ford muffler and exhaust manifolds for a Ford 8700, just comment or somehow get a hold of me. I'm sure you'll figure it out. But I guess that's it for today. Sorry if the video wasn't to your liking, but it'll be pretty cool when I get this all done. I should really invest in a GoPro, but that's our one cat. He's crazy. We call him Socko. Look at him. He's going right at it down there. He's kind of a pain in the butt. And we got another cat here too. We call this one Stumpy. Got a bent tail. I don't know how it happened, but that's why we call it Stumpy. Well, that's it, guys. Everybody have a nice day.